So in the next section here, 21 and 29, we're asked to find the exact value without using a calculator. So the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out where on the unit circle 11 pi over 2 falls. And if we're counting, notice that the denominator is 2 here, so if we count by pi over 2's, we can quickly count around the unit circle. Now, you can get some shortcuts later on, but I just really want to walk you through this part, how to count around the unit circle without having to use the shortcuts. So again, one half of pi is right there. So 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the 11 pi over 2 mark is right there, and we know that the sign is the y-coordinate of that point, and the coordinates of this point are 0, -1, and so therefore it's the same as, if you really want to do this, it's the same as the sign of 3 pi over 2, which is -1. So we get -1 for the sine of 11 pi over 2. So if we want to reference the, call this a reference angle, it's the angle within the unit circle. This is your reference. So where in the unit circle within one time around, would we fall? And we'd fall on the 3 pi over 2 mark. All right, so then number 29, secant of negative pi, we draw a circle, find negative pi. So negative pi is right here. This is negative pi. And it's the same angle as you'd get when you go this way around pi. So you go the counterclockwise, you're still right here on the unit circle. Since the secant is what we're trying to find, we're going to first find the cosine. So we find the cosine first. The cosine of negative pi is the same as the cosine of positive pi, which is -1. It's the x-coordinate of that point. And so if the cosine of pi is -1, which is -1 over 1, that means the secant of negative pi is equal to 1 over that. So 1 over -1 is still -1. All right. Cruising right along here. So then problem number 30. Oh, man, did you see all that? I hope you did. I'll have to check the video again, do it again if I cut it off there. So problem 35, we're just asked to simplify this expression. And we should know by now that the sine of 45 degrees is radical 2 over 2, as well as the cosine of 45 degrees, which is radical 2 over 2. When we see two functions next to each other like that, it means multiplication. So we're just multiplying across. So radical 2 times radical 2 is positive 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 over 4 gets us 1/2. So 1/2 is the value for sine of 45 degrees times the cosine of 45 degrees.